Yummy, how are you all? I hope you will love this episode, and I'm sorry I didn't upload yesterday because I was busy. Jimmy looked at Taehyung lunch and said, I thought it will take more time. Taehyung looked at him with his cold, stern face. Right now he wanted to hit his face very badly. Then he thought he is his friend. He just ignored Jimin's statement and sat beside him. Taehyung thought taking revenge for him, so he pinched Jimin so hard that Jimin really screamed. All of the family looked at him, and Mr. Kim asked, What happened, Jimin? Uncle, he pinched me, Jimin said, still rubbing his thigh where Taehyung pinched him. Mr. Kim laughed and said, That's inheritance of his mother. When Mrs. Kim heard his husband's statement, he also pinched Mr. Kim, which made Mr. Kim to scream. See, I told you. All of them smiled and started to eat. Jungkook is staring at his baby while eating. Mrs. Jian and Mrs. Kim are talking about some charity function. Mr. Kim and Mr. Jian are eating silently like always. It is their last dinner of life. Jimin, Hobie and Jin are teasing his best friend. Taehyung is just trying to ignore the teases of his friends. After dinner, everyone settled in living room to discuss the matter. Taehyung and Jungkook sit beside each other. Taehyung, Jungkook and his friends sit on the sofa, and Mr. Kim, Mrs. Kim, Mr. Jian, Mrs. Jian sit on the sofa opposite to them. Now they are facing each other, all of thinking about the same thing. Then Jimin spoke. Taehyung, we got the information about who stole your book from Candle Studio. Taehyung looked at him, sighed, because he knows more than that. He knows who is the person who sent that person to steal his book. Jungkook, baby, can you tell us whatever in your mind? We are your family. We will help you. Mr. Jian, yes, Taehyung, tell us what's happening in your life. Whatever happening, I know someone is trying to bother you. Mrs. Kim and Mr. Kim looked at his son with concern, and Mrs. Kim said, Baby, this time don't hide anything from us. Whatever you know, maybe we will help you and you can overcome this problem easily. Taehyung nods at his mom and he wanted to speak, but how should he tell them who is that bad guy and what that man wants from him? Taehyung saw Jungkook, who is staring at him. Taehyung felt shivering. Taehyung thought, how should I tell them in front of him? He already told me that he is very possessive. Taehyung gulped. What will Jungkook do when he tell him about the truth? But Taehyung knows, as his mother said, this time he need his family's support. Mr. Kim saw his son is looking at Jungkook. Mr. Kim thought Taehyung don't want to talk about this matter in front of Jungkook, so he spoke. Baby, you don't want to talk about the matter in front of Jungkook? Taehyung shocked when his dad said what he is exactly thinking, and Jungkook, he felt disappointed. Jungkook thought Taehyung still don't believe him. If Taehyung want to talk with his family alone, he will leave here. From here, Jungkook don't want to be an obstacle now in his baby's life, so he got off from sofa to leave and play the place. But before he turned to leave, Taehyung grabbed his hand. Jungkook looked at Taehyung, who is looking at him with pure love and admiration. Hyung, I was just thinking, what will you do to that person after knowing the truth? And you also told me that you are so possessive about your things. Taehyung said and smiled at him. Jungkook just stood there dumbfoundedly. Then Taehyung made him sit. Taehyung rubbed his both hands on his face and looked at his family and said, Okay, I will tell you guys everything, but before that you will have to promise me that you will not take any foolish steps just because someone trying to harm me. We will handle everything legally and take action against him. Okay, we will handle everything legally. Now explain, Mr. Kim said frustrations. Mr. Kim wanted to know who is that bad man who tried to harm his baby and who is trying to take his baby's hard work. Thang took a deep breath and said, "It's Min Chang So." When all of them heard that name, everyone in that room frowned because all of them knows who is that Chang So. He was just so spoiled rich but and now he is CEO of his father's automobile company. Jungkook frowned hearing that name. He also knows that guy because Mr. Kim told him about all the businessmen in Korea, but he didn't understand why he is behind his baby, why he wants his baby's perfume formula when he has a million worth company. What he want from you? Jungkook asked, frustratingly holding his anger. There is anger in his tone which can't be ignored by anyone. Now everyone, including Taehyung, knew that Jungkook is too angry right now. Taehyung gulped and looked away, trying to avoid the staring contact of Jungkook. Taehyung is very nervous because he is feeling Jungkook's anger-filled eyes glaring at him. Mrs. Jeon and Mr. Jeon looked at his son and Mr. Jeon said, Jungkook, stop staring at him. You are making him nervous. That is why he doesn't want to talk in front of you. Jungkook didn't say anything because he can't control his anger. When he heard someone was trying to hurt his baby, it made him lose his patience. He just can't control his anger, so he acted like that. Jungkook calmed himself and stopped staring at Taehyung, saying sorry to him. Mrs. Kim immediately came and sat beside him. Mrs. Kim made his baby feel comfortable. Mrs. Kim cupped his baby's face and said, you can tell me, baby, anything. I am here and you know we don't judge you for anything. He said softly to encourage his baby to speak. Taehyung knows that his family always support him. When he decided to discontinue his education and learn other things, his family supported him. They never said no to him. They respected their decision of his. That is why Taehyung is acting cool and strong in front of him. But inside he knows he is very scared by that Chang Soo guy. Mrs. Kim saw his baby's eyes filled with tears. He didn't say anything. He just hugged Taehyung. Jimin, Hobi and Jin were shocked because Taehyung is crying means something really bad is happening because of that Chang Soo guy. Taehyung rested his shoulder on Mrs. Kim and closed his eyes and took a deep breath and said in a low voice, Mama, he wants me. Taehyung said in low voice, but still Jungkook and Jimin are able to hear that because they are sitting beside Mrs. Kim and Taehyung, so both of them said in unison, that freak. Both Jungkook and Jimin said in unison. That made Taehyung to flinch more because Taehyung now know that Jungkook is swimming in anger. Taehyung don't want to see that aura of his young Jungkook. His young already told him he is possessive. Taehyung is already scared now. Mrs. Kim felt his son clenching his shirt tightly, and Mrs. Kim knew that what made him to do that. Mrs. Kim looked at both Jimin and Jungkook and said, can you both sit down and calm for a bit? We should try to solve this issue. Your yelling not going to help anyone. We both are scaring my baby. Jimin and Jungkook looked at each other when they heard uncle. They didn't thought anything about anything. As an instant they yelled because Jungkook is possessive about his baby and Jimin is protective about his best friend. Both sigh and sit on the sofa. Mr. Jian looked at his son and said, Jungkook, be calm and think how to solve the problem. We have to make a plan to destroy their whole company. If he only hacked document, then maybe I am able to forgive him. But how dare he? That freak, his eyes on my son. I am going to make his life upside down now, Mr. Kim said, and his face is foaming with anger. His father, he can't tolerate this. Uncle, first we should solve this issue up of him before they leak the information, Jin said calmly while rubbing Jimin's shoulder along with Hobie to make him calm. On the other side, Taeyong is still in hug of his mom. He do not want to see Jungkook's face now that he is why he is not losing his hug. But then his phone started to ring. He broke the hug and didn't dare to look at his young and other family member. Taeyong took out his phone and he foamed with anger when he saw unknown number which he received. Before all people are looking at him when they saw foaming Taeyong, they know who it is. Taeyong didn't want to receive his phone because he just don't want to hear that sound of so freak. Taeyong thought, how dare he calling me again? He is so shameless. Taeyong can't control his anger. He saw his phone is still ringing. He anger reached a peak and he decided to throw his phone. When Taeyong is going to throw his phone, Jungkook, who is watching all this movement of his baby, he catch his baby's hand, just talk with him, and if he say anything, just agree to him. Jungkook said sternly, still controlling his anger because he doesn't want to scare his baby. Taeyong nods to him and looked at his papa. Mr. Kim also sighed him to receive. Then Taeyong received the call, keeping his on loudspeaker. Hello. Oh baby, it's me, your future hubby. All the people get angry on the statement, but one person is more angry than anyone is none other than Mr. Jeon Jungkook. Jungkook is really at edge on now. He want to cut the tongue off that freak. How dare he call himself as future hubby of his baby? In his anger, Jungkook gritted his teeth and his face became more darkened. Mr. Jian also saw his son is foaming, so she came close near him and tried to calm him. Taeyong looked at his young, who is looking very scary with dark and foaming face. Taeyong also can't control his anger and said, you freak, are you shameless? How many times I have to tell you that I am not interested in you? Baby, you should be grateful because my eyes on you. The whole Korean girls are behind me, but I am behind you. You are going to be mine, Changsu said. If you are going to rewind the same tape again, I am going to cut the call now, Taeyong said to Changsu nonchalant tone. Hey, calm down. I just wanted to ask you about the deal. What did you think about it? Changsu said. There is nothing to think. I am not interested in anything which is related to you, Taeyong said and looked at Jungkook. Jungkook is now a little bit calm than before. At least he is satisfied that his baby is not giving anything to that freak Changsu. Okay. Then be ready to live on the street, because when your friend, owner of the studio, knew about their perfume formula is stolen, then they are going to throw you out. No one wants such a friend who caused huge loss in business. By the way, I am ready to take you at my home when they will throw you out, Changsu said with happiness, like he is already get what he is airing for. Taeyong, Jimin, Hobie and Jin looked at each other and their anger increased that Changsu boy because he is planning to destroy their friendship, but he doesn't know about their friendship. They quarreled many times, they argued many times, they disagreed many times. Tang shook his head, thinking about the foolishness of Changsu, and said, "Then all the best, Mr. Chong. Try to destroy our friendship. You are challenging me, Taehung. I thought I will show you some kindness because you are living far from your poor family. I am giving you opportunity to become a billionaire's husband, but you have audacity to challenge me. I will show you what Chang can do," Chan said in anger. "Okay, Mr. Chang, all the best," Tang said and disconnected the call because he already had enough drama of this freak. Taehyung thought, "If you know who is my father, you will get heart attack, stupid man." Mr. Kim looked at his son and said, "Taehyung, now it's time to public your appear as a son of Kim." But before Taehyung continued his word, Mr. Kim again started to speak. "Don't you think, Taehyung, if he already knew who you are actually, then he didn't dare to treat you like this? He thinks you have nobody." "That stupid, I have to learn lesson now," Mr. Kim yelled. Mrs. Kim looked at his husband and blinked his eyes to be calm. Jungkook thought for a minute and he spoke. "First we will deal with the issue of perfume, then we will think about him," he said while thinking about something. "Do you have any plan, Cook?" Hobie asked Jungkook. "Yeah, I have. Tomorrow you four came to my office," Jungkook said, staring at the wall and making plan to solve the issue. He already had the plan to defeat that Chang. He took out his phone and messaged someone. "Okay, I will think we all should go to sleep now. We will discuss about the thing, how to deal with that freak tomorrow," Jamin said with a smile, like he is making blog on YouTube. All the people looked at Jamin's act and smiled. After some time, Jimin, Hobie and Jen also left the Kim mansion. Mr. Jian and Mrs. Jian also left to their home. Jungkook wanted to be with his baby, so he stayed. Mrs. Kim and Mr. Kim went to their room after saying goodbye to the young boys. Taehyung also started to walk towards his room. Still didn't dare to look at his young. Jungkook is following his baby. He saw his baby is avoiding him, which made him feel more anger. Jungkook followed Taehyung. Taehyung reached his room. Taehyung turned and saw Jungkook is standing beside him and staring at him. Taehyung up when he saw anger face on Jungkook. Taehyung thought, "Do I did something wrong? Why Hyung is looking like angry double bunny?" Taehyung calmed himself and wore his expression less faked and said, "Hyung, guest room is there." Taehyung pointed at guest room, but Jungkook didn't move from that place where he is standing, and neither he responded to Taehyung. He was just waiting for Taehyung to open his room door. Jungkook's mind is completely clouded with the anger and words of Chang. Words of Chang are ringing in his mind. He is thinking how Chang called Taehyung as baby and how he said himself Habi, all words making him feel jealous and anger at the same time. Jungkook is feeling like if that dirty minded take his baby away, then what he will do. No, he can't live without his babies. He also wants Taehyung to know that he is going to be his future Mr. Jungkook. Taehyung opened the door. Jungkook saw it and he pushed Taehyung inside the room. Within a second, Taehyung slammed on the door and Jungkook looking at him furiously. Taehyung didn't understand why his Jung is so angry. Taeyang wanted to speak, but due to the fear, he can't able to produce a sound. Jungkook leaned forward. Now their noses are touching each other. He locked his eyes on Taeyang, and Taeyang also looking at Young's eyes. After few seconds, Taeyang felt severe due to his Young's stare, so he looked away. Taeyang closed his eyes and he clenches the hem of Jungkook's suit. Jungkook moved his head to his baby's neck and kissed it. Ah, Young, it hurts. Taeyang cried when Jungkook bit it. Jungkook didn't move from Taeyang's neck and he moved to Taeyang's ear and whispered, I don't like when you avoid me, he said in his cold voice. Taeyang is feeling not hot due to the closeness of his young. Taeyang thought, when did I avoid him? Why he is so angry? Taeyang is still in his thought. He didn't start. Jungkook is waiting for his answer. Answer me, Jungkook once again said in his ear. Jungkook moved his head to Taeyang's face and Taeyang thought for a while and answered, Hyung, I didn't know what are you talking and I didn't avoid you. Taeyang said the truth. Jungkook didn't say anything. He started to kiss his baby. Jungkook kissing Taeyang's lip like if he felt them, left them, they will disappear on the other side. Taeyang wanted more than kiss. He knows Jungkook Hyung is angry, but at the same time he is enjoying this kiss. After some time, both felt they are going to pass out without oxygen, so Jungkook broke the kiss and he dragged Taeyang to bed. Taeyang just lay there, still fainting heavily with closed eyes. When he opened his eyes, he saw Jungkook's upper part of body is bare. Jungkook already removed his clothes. Taeyang got up and asked him, what are you doing? At first, I was angry at the freak and wanted to mock you, but now I can't hold back myself, Jungkook said and moved towards Taeyang. Taeyang allowed him to remove his clothes but said, but Hyung. Jungkook didn't say anything and he dragged Taeyang to bathroom. Taeyang just allowed Jungkook to do whatever he wants because he also wanted to feel Jungkook's touch. Both of them stand below the shower and Jungkook started to the shower. Jungkook saw the action of this action and he smiled as baby's action. Taeyang looked at his young, who is smiling beautifully now. Wow, what a beautiful smile, Taeyang thought. Jungkook looked at him and said, really? With a smirk? Oh no, I said it loud. Taeyang thought, and then he saw Jungkook is standing same as him in front of him once again. Taeyang thought, what Hyung is planning to do with me? Jungkook looked at his baby from head to toe and said, you are so hot, baby. So everyone, this is end of today's episode. I hope you will love it, and whatever you feel about the episode, you can tell me in the comment section. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.